All right, so good morning. Yes, I just got out the shower. But anytime I'm in the water, I usually get divine downloads. And the reason I'm recording this here is because this new wave of babies. Today, whenever you're watching this, it's not necessarily time sensitive, but today is, I'm going to say, May 16th, 2025. It's mainly about the year. It's not necessarily about the physical month or date. Um, but these new wave of babies, especially from the end of 2025 to 26, but specifically the babies who will be born from 2026 to 2027, it's imperative that the mothers who are bringing these babies into this world understand like the magnitude of their presence and their soul's mission here. But basically, even if you're not considered to be a spiritual person or to be even inclined to understand energy as a healing modality, the very basics of this message is this: that the umbilical cord is something that is underrated, in mainstream, medicine, basically. And so these babies are going to need to be attached to the umbilical cord prior to birth for at least an hour. So after you give birth to the baby, and ideally mom and dad only. But if it's just mom, okay. But the umbilical cord is needing to be attached, and then the baby can lay on your chest, touch your skin. Again, if the dad's there, you can definitely go ahead and, or the other guardian, depending on however the baby comes about. It's important, like, especially if you have a surrogate mom or different things like that. Then the parents are going to want to be there. Yes, obviously the baby's still going to be attached physically to the umbilical cord of the actual person who has physically given birth to the baby. But the parents, it's important that they are able to have skin to skin contact when the umbilical cord is still attached, at least for an hour. And you'll see, if you have friends or if you know anybody who has had a baby from 2024 to 2025, a lot of people were not doing this. Okay, so those babies are equally as important and imperative to the ascension process for the entire universe. But you'll be able to see some of the different reasons why. You'll be able to see the differences. The people who did not know this information, or who have who didn't have the opportunity to keep their baby on the umbilical cord for an hour after birth, those babies are going to be very close with their mom or that surrogate parent, and so it's going to be which is a great thing. But at the same token, it's something that is going to need to be it's like the remnants of an abandonment issue that they don't carry into this world. But the fact is that because once you're completely separated, from this cord, it's like being ripped away from your mom or from your supply source or whatever the case. So it's not going to be something that is just going to travel into their adulthood. But as children, as toddlers, these babies, you'll be able to tell the difference, where they may be apprehensive to leave their mom, where they, are not going to be the same unless their mom is there, or, whoever is that parent. And so, it can even take place with the dad, and it's whoever they bonded with during that time, when they were, in the womb. And as a physical manifestation of parents, goes, it's not just based on gender, because some people are in a physical body, but they're dominant gender, because we all have masculine and feminine, and the divine Christ child within us. That's the Holy Trinity, and so divine wholeness is going in between, which that is the baby, the Christ child goes in between, your left and right brain hemisphere into your heart space, okay? And what's exactly down there? The umbilical cord, okay? And so the baby, when they're inside of the mother, they're not necessarily up here physically, but they know the difference, okay? They know where their nourishment is coming from, up here. And so, because, it's not two humans who just got together and had a baby. Like, this is a spark of Christ light, okay? It's so much deeper and so much bigger, and these babies already know this. But I'm recording this for the parents mainly because I watched a video last night, and, I posted it on my Facebook. You'll see it. It's the one where I'm going to say the dad's name is Stretch. Okay, don't quote me on this. I have to go back and look. But, the mom is just like, what the fuck? And the baby's just crying. And it has nothing to do with, like, bad energy or anything like that. But I guarantee that baby was not, she did not have the baby on the umbilical cord for an hour. And for what it's like, when you get a dog, like, they, from puppy, I want to say, they form a bond with the person who not necessarily housed them, but who they made a connection with. And so that's the thing is, like, if both of you are there and you both spend that time with the baby on the umbilical cord, it's like balancing out within the baby. So it doesn't matter who has the baby, whatever it is, the baby's needs, they're not going to have the remnants of this like unworthiness or abandonment wound or things like that. And that's why this baby is crying in that nature. Okay, the baby is crying in that nature because it's just getting out those things that it's never meant to process. That generational wound is already healed. Like, I'm talking about to the conscious people who have access to that. They can access that healing energy, and it's just like a miracle, okay? But these babies, those are things that generational trauma, like, the womb is a crazy place, and it's not just in the physical body, as far as like in the woman's body, it's in the mind for a man. Okay, and so the heart is the median. The heart is the Christ child, okay? And so that's why these things are important. But I'm telling you, like, it might seem like, oh my gosh, this baby has colic. Oh my gosh, this baby hates me. Oh my gosh, da, da, da. But no, like, that's not the case. They're just crying like that because they need to release these energies that's not theirs to hold on to, okay? And it's like them breaking free from the prison. And so in order to do that, it's different. Like, that's why this particular baby goes to his father like that. And like, and honestly, water really helps. So I'm remembering, I'm going to tag these people because I'm remembering part of the video where the dad went into the shower and the baby was just like, get the fuck out, come back and get me. But even if you keep the baby in the shower, like, not necessarily, in the water with, well, you know what? Look, okay, honestly, we're coming into an era where it's not about being politically correct, okay? It's about doing what's right, for you and your family from a place of integrity. So it's like just the energy that's being shared. Like, so like the dad could be in the shower, the baby could be sitting on a, toilet seat or whatever the case, and in the rocker or on the floor or whatever. It doesn't even have to be looking at the dad. But the water is soothing. But then, if the dad is singing in the shower or whatever the case is, and the baby hears the voice is something, your vocal cords hold power. And so it's definitely like as powerful as like the warm embrace, so if you're speaking, healing words or singing or just being fully present in the shower, even when you're washing up, like, you don't even have to hold on to your baby. You can use natural elements, and then it will just wash these things away from inside this baby's psyche that is is not meant for him to hold on to. But it's so much easier. That's why all that to say this. It's so much easier if when you're giving birth, especially the mom and the dad or parents or whoever, are able to allow your baby to stay attached to the umbilical cord for at least an hour. And then each parent is able to have that skin to skin time with the baby. These babies, especially like I said, from 2026 to 2027 born, you'll notice such a difference, in my life was never easy, but this one gonna be easy. Believe me, okay? You're gonna see the difference. And it's not but anyway, so like I said, it's not to be jealous. It's not to be like, this one is bad, this one is good. No, they're both essential, okay? But how are you going to know, like, if something is right for you, if you don't see if you don't have something to, I don't even want to say compare it to, but if you don't, these different babies ultimately are going to end up at the same place. But this is for the parents, because it's so much easier just to keep that baby on there for an hour. Like, even if you don't want to sound crazy at the hospital or whatever, I'm telling you, they can't say no. They cannot say no to you, okay? You have the right to do this. But it will make your life so much easier. Whoever is watching your baby when you're going to do your regular stuff, it will make everybody's life easier. It will make the world easier, to be... See, I'm passionate about this, okay? I know this. This is what I know, okay? and so I'm just take it how you want it, but I'm telling you, and no babies are going to be just the generational curses have already broken. The healing has already occurred, and so these babies have every right to enjoy it from the zero on up, okay? And so their presence is going to illuminate, and it's going to invigorate and provide vitality for the environments around them, okay? So that's why, like, from 0 to 1, the babies who haven't been on their mom's umbilical cord and whatnot for at least an hour, like, you're gonna be able to tell, okay? You're gonna be able to tell. But after they get to 1, all this healing is gonna occur anyway, and so then it's gonna be But these are mainly for the up and coming parents to remember this. And if you don't have to trust me, go with your heart, but just at least ask yourself what's best for you and your family before make that a part of your birth plan, because it's super important.